Hello folks, welcome to another edition of American Computer Enthusiasts. Tonight we have with us the madman of CAD, Steve Reeves. Steve Reeves from TotalCAD. He's going to be talking to us about Microstation Release 4, and he's brought with him a Sun workstation. So we've got Steve Reeves with us, a brand new computer to show you, the Sun workstation. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by ChemStations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
High school football action returns every Sunday night at 7 as Access Houston presents the high school football game of the week on the Educational Channel. Hello, everyone. I'm Alvin Boom Boom Jackson. Join Shannon Kelly, Beth Jackson, Aaron Noser as we bring you the best in high school football action every Sunday night.
People in the National Guard and Reserve make up over 40% of our nation's combat-ready forces. It's a job that requires them to face some very big challenges. So please, don't make their biggest challenge asking you for time off to do their training.
Mr. Aldridge, you, got a minute?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Hello folks, welcome back to the show, American Computer Enthusiasts. I'm Graham Pearson, your host for this evening. Tonight we have with us Steve Reeves. He's intelligent, good-looking, witty, and he owes me money. And this is the third time he's been on the show, so he's an old hand. He's a repeat offender. And tonight he's brought with him a Sun SparkStation, and he's going to be showing us the latest release of Microstation version 4, which actually has not yet been released. It'll be released on January the 1st. He's got lots of giveaways, so people who call in will be winning keychains, little TV screens, and what are these? Koozies, and drinks of water. So get your questions ready. We'll be taking questions later on at 861-6283. Steve, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Good to have you back again.
It is.
This is the third time.
Right. Third time's a charm.
You know the ropes by now.
Right.
You've brought with you a Sun and Microstation, but tell us a little bit about your company, TotalCAD.
Sure. We've been in business 7 years. We sell just CAD hardware and CAD software. Things like Microstation, AutoCAD, CADvance, VersaCAD, and we sell the Sun workstations as far as hardware, and plotters and digitizers, anything having to do with CAD, just CAD-related peripherals, like Calcomp, Hewlett-Packard, all the name brand digitizers, plotters, and those kind of things. We have over 1,600 installations. Like I said, in 7 years, we've got quite a few installations. We have a newsletter that comes out every month, TotalCAD News. This month will be our 77th month for our newsletter. We have users group meetings every other month. We've been having those for years, since '85. We have a library with every kind of book, magazine, videotape, everything for all our customers to keep up with what's going on. We've got all kinds of a bulletin board, which has been online for a number of years, a hotline, all kinds of things. We like I always tell people, we try to specialize in support and keep people abreast on what's going on, and also to there's things change so often, you have to keep up. So the easiest way is to keep our customers abreast of what's going on also.
Well, good. And you've brought a Sun with you. This is probably the first time we've ever had a Sun on this show, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about the Sun. What's peculiar about it? Maybe you could compare it to a PC, this
Sure.
kind of thing.
The one that I brought is actually an IPC. It's a SparkStation IPC. They have different versions of the SparkStation. The lowest level, or the entry level, which happens to start with an E, it's called the ELC. which it's a monochrome diskless station, and all these Spark stations are Unix-based workstations. Most of the stations, like this one here, for example, the IPC that I brought, this one has a 3.5-inch disk drive. It comes with a 207 megabyte hard drive. It includes, when you buy it, includes everything. Just you plug it in and away it goes. You have to flip the switch, of course. But it comes with everything, the networking software built in. It comes with the Ethernet ports on the back, the color monitor or monochrome or grayscale, depending on which version and which level you buy. The resolution is 1152 by 900, so it's super high resolution at really crisp and clean. And the monitor that I have here is a 16-inch monitor. It's actually made by Sony, and Sun puts their name, so it's a flat screen, really crisp, good dot pitch and everything else.
Yeah. So you've got below it, you've got the computer sitting here. Maybe we
Right.
can get a full frontal of that, Kurt. You've got a 3.5-inch drive, and then over here you've got a tape reader.
Right. The 1/4-inch tape actually isn't part of the base system, but it's something that I brought just to show different ways to get the software into the computer. Most software today comes on 1/4-inch tapes, and I actually brought just a regular 1/4-inch tape, just like any other system, or like a backup tape, whatever. You can use it to load software or to back things up, and it's a good thing to have anyway. Then there is some software that comes on 3.5-inch discs, and this disk drive is actually it can read DOS disks also. And there's software available, like I have a software program in here called Common Link, which allows me to read in this disk drive regular Sun disks, Macintosh disks from a super drive, or a PC, 1.44 megabyte PC drive. So anything, like for example, most software like Microstation, I can take a file that's from a PC Microstation, put it in here, and read it, and it comes right up. They're all the same format, same file format. So you don't have to worry about incompatibility or anything else. So it's the translation is real clean, and you just every so often you have to because Unix is case sensitive. Sometimes you have to rename it so it's lowercase and uppercase or whatever. But that's about the only difference between the file format and things between like a DOS and a Sun. And of course a Mac has no extension, so you have to add an extension to it in order to bring it up.
And you were saying earlier that they'll soon be distributing software on CD-ROM.
Right, and the CDs are just regular CDs, except they have information. Some of them even have music on them. And the CD, I don't have a CD-ROM player here, a CD player here, but it looks identical to the 1/4-inch tape, except it has a CD, and it actually has a microphone jack and a volume control. You can actually listen to your normal CDs on there, and so you can pretend you're working and be listening to music. But it's so much faster, and it's so much easier to do things on CDs. You have to have, like for example, the operating system for the Sun comes on a couple different 1/4-inch tapes. You have to take them in and put them out. With the CD-ROM, everything's on one CD-ROM. Makes it a lot simpler.
Okay.
I guess I could show you a few things just here, on the operating system itself, if you want to do that,
Well, I tell you what, let's look at microstations first, and let's look at the operating system if we have time. I'm
Okay,
sure most
that'd be
people
great.
will be pretty interested in microstations.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I have to show you a little bit just to get into it, because what I did, the way it comes up, the way I have it booted up, and it comes up automatically, is it comes up in Open Windows, which is their user interface, one of their user interfaces. The other one that they use is called SunView, which is the older version, which a lot of people got used to, and that's what most software was written in. But the new the new user interface is Open Windows, which is a lot smoother. If you know Windows or the Macintosh, you can be on this up and running in no time, because it has a lot of the same identical user interfaces as far as the Windows, the little icons and things like that. So what I'll do is I just have to click on something like the user. That's what directory it's in, USR. And you can see when you hit it, it actually shows you file format. I think the new Windows 3.1 or the new ones coming out is going to have something like this sort of an interface, so you can see exactly what's going. And you can see whatever you have highlighted here, it shows in the bottom exactly.
So, in fact,
Right.
this one here is
This one
highlighted,
here
and these are all of the files
that are in that that folder.
And this is another picture of all the
Right,
files,
all these
too.
little things. We can highlight each one of these, and whenever we highlight anything, like for example, there's one called M Station for Microstation. If I double-click on that, it actually will show the folders that are behind M Station, and below show you all the things that are in the Microstation folder. Three ways to start it up. We could double-click it on here, just on this U Station. There's a little icon called U Station. There's also over here you can go under one of the file folders things you can pull down, and you can actually have commands on there and have Microstation or U Station. Or we can actually type it in. I'm just going to type it in here. I can do it just as fast this way. User and then M Station. As long as I type, I'll be all right. And then we can just type in U Station. Oop. If I knew how to type, I'd be pretty good.
You've been practicing for a little while.
Yeah. I type like a chicken. And then what'll happen is it's loading it into the RAM. By the way, I'll tell you a little bit about this machine while this is loading up. Because it's just like the PC version. It has to load into RAM, and that's what makes it so fast. This is just a basic IPC system. SparkStation it has 8 megs of RAM, 207 megabyte hard drive. So I haven't added anything to this. This is straight out of the box, plain vanilla IPC. The actual interface that comes up is exactly like the PC. It's the OSF motif looking format, and we'll just bring up a drawing. What we'll do is we can just, the same way, just like a Mac or with Windows, you can scroll right through it. We'll just double-click on this ACE. I just have a drawing called ACE. It'll come up, and what I'm going to do is it'll come up and it'll show the different views on the screen, and you'll see as it loads up, it'll have view 1, view 2, view 3, and it actually, with this, we can have up to 8 different views, and you can see it's got the little menus. Every so often I'm going to refer back to the PC version. The one reason I like to do that is because a lot of people will know how easy it is to use on the PC, and with this, there's advantages to going to the Sun SparkStation. One is that you can go back and forth, and there's really no learning curve between the software itself. It's almost identical. The differences are as far as speed and being able to do 2 things at once, being able to actually bring up another program in background and be working on something, working on this, go back and forth, go into a word processor or a database or some graphics program or whatever, and go and have 2 things going on at one time or 3. The only time you'll really run into problems with that is memory problems. You just have to have more memory. But you can see the menus. They can be pulled around, turned on, turned off, just exactly like the PC version. And if you want to do something, for example, there's under the main menu that's on the side, on the left-hand side, there's all different types of icons that are up and down there on the left-hand side. For example, there's like line, for example. If we just hit over the top of line, we can actually draw on the screen. Can you see that all right on the screen? You can highlight, and you can just draw lines all over the screen. It's pretty handy there to draw a bunch of lines.
Last week we had Jim Natch, and he showed us in Visual Basic how one line could actually draw lines in Visual Basic. So
and there's all different types of things, like all these little icons. There's little icons that have a little arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, and with that means there's another icon behind that. So we can actually pull these away, and you can see that each one of these things, we can have a bunch of these on. The one big advantage also, a bigger screen. The last time I was only had a 14-inch screen. You can have more icons on the screen, more of these little menus, and it helps a lot.
Well, before you get out of hand, Steve, we're going to take a break.
All right.
Okay. Let me remind you at home, if you want to call in and ask Steve a question, we're talking tonight about Microstation's version 4.0, which is a computer-aided design tool, and we're showing it on a Sun workstation. And Steve has brought a lot of things to give away tonight. We've got keychains, we've got koozies, we've got little TVs, TV clocks, computer clocks, which fall to pieces. And also, Steve's giving away 2 tickets to Saturday night's Rockets game, which is appropriately enough with the Phoenix Suns. So call in and ask Steve a question, 861-6283. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by Chem Stations. specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
If this doesn't scare you, just wait.
The doctor will see you now.
One night a year ago, Vanessa got high with some guy and forgot everything she learned about preventing AIDS. Now her life is the horror show. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
Hi folks, welcome back after a rather scary intermission there. We're talking with Steve Reeves tonight, demonstrating Microstation's version 4 on the Sun Spark Station. And remember, Steve is giving away a couple of tickets to Saturday night's Rockets game. So if you call in and ask Steve a question, intelligent or not, you might have a chance to win the tickets, appropriately with the Phoenix Sun, 7:30 on Saturday night. The telephone number is 861-6283. Steve, you were pulling up menus left, right, and center. What?
All right. What I'll show you is along the top. One great thing about this software is it's real easy to use as far as the interface, because it does have pull-down menus, which is nowadays that seems to be what almost every software package has, Windows and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see along the top, when you pull it across the top, different menus come down. So when you hit, for example, open or close, like for example, there's different windows that you can open and close. Right now I've just got these three windows. There's view 1, which is the big one in the middle. And if we want to turn on another view, we can turn these views on over here. If we hit over the top of that, you can see another view will pop up. And if we hit over the top of another view, there's really nothing in this view, but we can zoom in and see what's going on. For example, we can just go here and hit under View and go to Window and do to Area. Say we wanted to zoom into this little M down here in the bottom. And we can say we want to zoom in and zoom it up here. And we can have multiple views and different things on different screens. Same thing if we wanted to zoom in down here, we could say put that right there, and you can see we have different views. And there's different views. There's up to 8 different views. If we go to this hold-down menu and we go here to open and close, we could go down here to 8, for example, and open up this window and see what it says there. Go Oilers, beat them. It's great, huh? But you can have different views and different things on different screens, so that what will happen is you won't have to keep zooming in and zooming out all the time. So what we'll do is I'm going to draw some lines over here, and we can draw lines on the screen, and we can draw it at any angle or or like this. We can also go to, let's pull away this menu here, and there's things like multi-lines. One big advantage to this system is the multi-line command, which allows you to do multiple lines at one time, parallel lines, so that if you want, for example, in an architectural drawing, you would actually do like the center line and the 2 walls on either side, like 4 inches apart or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or in piping drawings, it'd be great. You could show the center line of the pipe and how wide it is. Every single thing is user definable. You can have multiple lines. You could have 4, 5, or 6 different lines. There's actually most people use 5 or 3 or 5 are usually what most people use, but it doesn't make any difference. So we can go in there. We can draw multiple lines. Now each one of those is fixable too. We can go in there and fix corners, fix T's, fix intersections. But this is where the window will come in handy. For example, if we were go over here to Window In. Let's say we want to window in on this little area here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop right here. We'll just stop that. We can draw some more multi-lines. I'm just going to goof this drawing up just so we can fix things. And we'll go over there, and we'll just stop it right there. And we'll draw another one here, for example. We'll draw from here to here and stop that. And if we were to zoom in on those corners, we can go to this and say zoom in. Oops, let me just get out of that. We'll just pick this little icon up here on the top, which is Window In, and we'll zoom in on this little piece, and we'll say put that right there. And we can do another one. We can say zoom in on this corner here and put it here. And you can see those corners are not really fixed. But we can fix those things by, there's different palettes and things that we can pull down, And there's one that's called multi-line joints. If we hit multi-line joints, another little icon, a little menu pops up on the screen. And we can say, you can see there's different things, fixed T's, fixed corners, fixed intersections. For example, if we hit, say, fixed corner, we can hit one of those lines, hit the other multi-line, and we'll hit this one here, and it fixes it automatically for you. And you can see that now that is actually fixed. The other thing is we can fix, for example, T's. T is one that a lot of people use for different things. Like we can say, hit this line right here, and then we can hit the other line that's going perpendicular to that, and you can see it automatically fixes that T there for you. So that's real good for architectural drawings, for engineering drawings, for different things. Could be piping drawings or whatever. We can, again, you can pull these on. You can have all these different little icon menus and things on the screen. You can see it kind of jumbled up if you've got too many of them, so you want to turn them on and off. One that a lot of people use all the time is the one that's called locks. Locks is, and you can keep that on the screen all the time, like full or toggles. If we hit toggles, for example, it comes up, like I usually show, is I usually put it down in the corner. And what that does, it allows you to move it up, move it down, and you can actually have it on the screen and turn things on and off. We can also turn those off like quit, and it just turns it off. The other nice little thing is just like a Macintosh or the Windows version, you can double click or just hit the little thing on the top left-hand corner, and turn that menu off, and you can see it shows up as a little icon down in the corner. So we can turn that on, turn that off. If we want to turn that, you can do that. The other nice thing about all these different menus, there's things like fit, where you can fit the full screen, fit the whole drawing on the screen. You can zoom in, zoom out. There's different fonts that are available. For example, fonts, if you bring up the fonts menu, it'll pop up, and you can see there's different types of fonts, standard, working, engineering. If we hit over the top of engineering, you can see it looks like Leroy fonts, you know, or that's actually the name of a font. There's architect, usually, like I tell people, mostly it's architectural. It looks like the chisel font that an architect would do. I always say the engineering should be real sloppy. But
You've just insulted half of our audience.
They're all laughing.
Yeah, that'll get a few phone calls, won't it?
Yeah, that'll get. And then there's different things like fancy, and there's there's a bunch. All these fonts come with it. This is the plain vanilla program that comes out of the box. You can see it comes with most everything people need to get started, or actually to do real drawings. There's really there are add-on packages, and I brought a couple of them. I don't have any on the computer right now because most of them aren't available as of today, because the software isn't officially out for the Spark. But most of the third-party people that make software, add-on software, like the piping software, and I have one that's called SiteWorks, and there's frameworks for site plans and coordinate geometry things. There's also one that's called MicroArchitect. There's one that's made for landscape design, and they work over the top of the software, and they'll all have the same type of menuing system. So what would be great is be able to go back and forth between the PC and the Sun version and the Mac version, and it's all the same interface, and it makes it a lot easier for people to get up and running a lot faster. And because you won't have to learn 20 different types of icon menu systems for different third-party software. Each one will have the same sort of interface. So if you're working on a site plan and you want to go into the architectural package, you'll have the same sort of interface. It'll make it a lot easier for everyone to get working.
Well, I can't understand why, but there are 3 people on the phone at least who want to talk with you. So do you want to try answering some questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's see who's on the phone. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with, please? Well, number 1 chickened out. Hello? Well, let's go to line 2.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with, please?
My name is Kaz Talani. I was going to let you know that I enjoy your program very much.
Well, thanks. Thanks for calling in.
A question from Steve.
Okay.
Steve, can you run X Windows on a Microstation Sun system?
I'm not sure how they're going to do that yet. I'm not actually sure how it's going to. I've heard different things from different people, and I'm not real sure. I can find out, and I could, you could call me at the office tomorrow, and I could call Intergraph to find out exactly if it will work. You want to know if it'll work on like an X terminal? And I'm not sure about that yet. I know, you can run terminals off of this, and I can find out for you. If you give me a call at the office tomorrow, I'll be glad to find out for you.
Can I have your number, please?
Sure. You want me to give it, or it actually come up on this?
Yeah, they're going to show it on the at a break, I'm sure. But why don't you?
It's real easy. It's 721-2233, which is 721-CAD, C-A-D-D. So it's real easy to remember.
Okay.
You got that?
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Well, thanks for calling in. Let's see who's online.
And there are a few questions. There's a few things that we don't know because it's not officially out. So it won't be out till the first of the year. So there's a few things that they're not real sure about yet. So, but I can find out.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, let's hit line 1 again. See who's on line 1. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with?
Yeah, hi, this is Barry out in Cyprus, and wanted to know if there was a way to incorporate scanned images into the type of equipment we're seeing here. This would be real helpful to people who are putting together drawings of assemblies of various parts that they may have individual drawings of from vendor data and put these into assemblies. Can that be done? Have you addressed that?
I'm glad you asked that question because I probably would have forgot to bring it up. But there is a package. There's actually 2 or 3 different ways to do it. One is you can bring in actual like RGB, what do they call them, RGB files or Targa files, and you can bring them up on the screen as, just like photographs. But you can also buy, there's another program put up by Intergraph that will work on the Spark, that also works on the PC right now and on their big systems, that is called IRAS, which is a hybrid scanning software that allows you to actually bring up a scanned-in image right on the screen in one of these windows and be able to trace over the top of it or translate it into vector data as opposed to raster. That's what it is. Raster data is what would be a scanned-in image. And when you translate it into vector, it's actually a bunch of lines. So you can then edit it and do different things with it. But that's that package is another program called IRAS. And right now it's called IRAS PC. There will be an IRAS Spark. And that will probably be available. I'm not sure if it'll be exactly the same time, but I'm sure it'll be available around the same time that this is released. But to answer your question, yes, you can do that, and it is available now for the PC.
Very good. Thanks a lot. That's all I've got.
Sure. Okay, Barry, thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. We got another caller.
Oh, you want to go ahead?
Believe it? Somebody else wants to talk?
Sure, we'll take another one.
Have you been paying people to call
Right,
in?
it's my mother.
Oh, okay. Hello, Mother. Hello, thanks for calling in. Who are we talking with, please?
I'm not Mother, Graham.
This must be Irv.
Yeah, Halloween must be over, huh?
Yeah. Hey, Irv. How you doing tonight?
Fine, fine. I have a question. It has something to do with the previous question. Is there any software package, or does this particular software package allow you to put in digitized input? Wanted to digitize.
Oh, sure. You mean just with a digitizing board?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. I didn't bring it this time. We didn't bring a digitizer this time, but a digitizer any size, 12 by 12 up to 44 by 60, different manufacturers like Calcomp or Curdo or Suma Graphics or whatever. Anything can be, a digitizer will plug in, and not only, I guess I could answer 2 questions. It will work with all the platforms, PC, Mac, or Sun, the Spark Station. But that's another question I'm kind of glad you asked because I'm sure someone will ask me. There is 2 serial ports that are on here that will plug a digitizer or plotters will plug into any peripherals that hook up to a PC or a Mac will work on this. But a digitizer, you can digitize any data in from a tablet, an existing tablet, for an existing drawing, for details or sections or a site plan or any kind of part or anything. But yes, you can. Any kind of digitizer, with a 16-button cursor or a 4-button cursor or a stylus, any one of those.
When you said a Mac would work on this, what do you mean?
No, I meant the software. This software is also available on a Mac.
Macintosh.
Right, Macintosh.
You can link the Mac to the Sun Station, can't you?
Sure. Because the Macintosh and the PCs, they can all interface with Ethernet, Ethernet connections. This actually has an Ethernet connection built into the back, and it comes straight out of the box. You can all you need is a little transducer that goes from the thin net to the BNC type connector for an Ethernet connector, and you can connect it to anything that has an Ethernet connection into a PC. For instance, on my computer at the office, I have an old compact that was sitting there collecting dust, an old compact portable that I never used for anything. There's software available for this called PCNFS, which allows you to connect this to a PC through Ethernet. I just had an old, just a regular Western Digital Ethernet board, and I connected this to that, and I can send files back and forth between the PC. I can actually use that PC as a terminal off of this and, you know, do not any graphics like this, but I can bring up and transfer files back and forth and do directories and those kind of things.
What does a system like this cost?
I knew somebody would ask that, so we're prepared for everything. This system, as you see it, except for the tape drive, the monitor, the computer, the keyboard, the mouse, all the software, the operating system, opened windows, and the SunView, the serial ports and everything else, it retails for $99.95. There's a less expensive way to get into it. There's a new one called, this is an IPC. There's a sort of a special deal they have going on right now called the LPC, which I guess stands for low price. It comes with a different monitor. It's a Philips monitor as opposed to a Sony monitor. It retails for $69.95. That's retail price. The street price is less than that. But you can get into a Spark station. The monochrome standalone diskless station is an ELC. It retails for $49.95, which is a pretty good deal for the speed. The new ELC is it's actually faster than this, faster than my IPC. Then you can add a hard drive to that if you want a standalone station. But that's most people, for example, in my office, I have an SLC, which is the older model of the ELC. I guess it looks identical, but it's the slower version. I can actually plug it through Ethernet directly into the back of here and use the hard disk off of this machine and transfer files back and forth. And that way, you have a pretty inexpensive terminal that you can bring up that's the same resolution and everything else. It looks real crisp and clean. It looks great.
Thank you.
But the price goes all the way up to the sky's the limit, depending on the hard drive and the speed and the graphics and everything else. It goes from ELC to IPC or LPC to IPX, which is a lot faster than this, to Spark Station 2. Spark Station 2, you can go up to $50,000, but also it's got graphics accelerators built in and everything else.
Thank you very much.
All right, Irv, thanks for calling in. As usual, Irv got his money's worth, didn't he?
Right.
He always gets us 3 or 4 questions in at one time. Well, I'll tell you what, we're coming up to a break, so let's take a break, and then we'll get back, and maybe you can show us a little more about Microstation.
Sure.
Stay right with us, folks. We'll be right back after this 2-minute break.
The American Computer Enthusiast Show made possible by funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by ChemStations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
We confront the issues that concern you. Pressing issues.
Tuesday night at 9.
Vince, come on, we're late. This headbanging is more fun than going through a windshield.
Good night from Iron Maiden. Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts. You don't want to end up like Eddie. Belt up. Don't be a dummy.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the show. We're talking with Steve Reeves from TotalCAD, and he's demonstrating Microstation version 4 on the Spark Station, a computer-aided design tool. And you're pulling up a picture of
some orbiter. It's just a great drawing that I always use this one to show shading. One thing great about this package, and also on the PC version, is the shading program renderer is built into the basic package that when you buy it. For example, if you pull down the view menu there's a thing called render, and there's different types of rendering you can do. You can do just a hidden line removal. You can do a wire mesh or whatever. I'm going to do a smooth shading, and you'll see because this I'll just do the first one right here, down in the right-hand corner, and it'll come up, and you'll be able to see it. And I'll do the big one when we start. But I wanted to show you what I was doing. This has 256 colors displayable out of some ungodly amount of colors. But it looks pretty crisp and clean, and it's pretty smooth. It's real nice looking. And you can see it's not photographic, realistic, but it's pretty clean. So what I'll do is I'm going to hit the big one here, the big drawing here.
The big one.
It'll take a couple, but you can see how it does it. It does it in sections, and it does a smooth shading, and it looks pretty good when it's finished. It's pretty realistic.
Yeah, but this is running pretty flat out, isn't it? It's running the machine as fast as
Right,
possible.
it's going right now. Now again,
what's the speed of this machine, say, compared to a 386, 20 megahertz?
all right. I have this handy-dandy card right here that I just got from Son, actually, and it's pretty neat because a lot of people ask me that question, and this actually answers every question you'd ever want to know. No, every single question. And it compares like the ELC to the IPC to the IPX to this equally configured IBM, Compaq, and even a Macintosh, so you can compare apples with apples, or apples with sons. But for example, this right here, this is this IPC is 17.4 MIPS, which is
meaningless.
Exactly, meaningless. No, 1 million instructions per second is what that means. And like for example, a Compaq, a 4633 is actually faster than this machine is in some ways, but you really have to compare apples with apples because you can't do the same things on both machines, multitasking and everything else. But for example, it's they say it's 16.7 MIPS, but I sometimes if you do real benchmarking, sometimes it's a little faster. But a comparable like a Spark Station 2, for example, is 28 MIPS. So it's quite a bit faster. I mean, it's another, almost 100% faster than this machine is, so it would come up real fast. You can see this looks pretty neat when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But for example, on a Macintosh, well, Max, they call it, that's an FX, is 8 MIPS. But also you compare with clock speed. This right here, for example, is at 25 milliseconds, or 25 megahertz. And for example, the Spark Station 2 is a 40, but it's really not the same as an Intel. So when people call me up and ask me how do the speeds compare with other machines, the best way to do it is to actually benchmark them, put them side by side and do it, because if you compare this to 25 megahertz machine, it's really not the same. It's like there's a 16 megahertz 286, a 16 megahertz 386. They're the same speed, but they're not the same processor. So there's really no comparison because this has a Spark chip in it as opposed to an Intel chip or a Motorola chip like a Macintosh. You really can't compare them. You have to do it side by side benchmark.
Is it finished?
Yes.
Just about. Can we get a shot of that at home for the people at home? The finished.
And you can see
product.
it on this dome part here. You can see it actually does the shading. It looks pretty smooth. It looks pretty realistic.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I make sure I let people know about this is that it is completely compatible, and there is software available for, even other things besides this, other CAD software packages like AutoCAD and whatever, and VersaCAD that are available on the Spark, but other software like Lotus and DBase and WordPerfect, and there's other software. A lot of people think you buy a Unix-based machine, there's no software, but there's more and more software that's available for the Unix-based machines.
Yeah.
And, and it's real nice to be able to have DBase on here and Lotus and be able to go over to my spreadsheet and do something, calculate, and go back to the CAD software and go back and forth, type up something in a word processor, and not have to get in and out of the programs. We can just make these into an icon or actually just go out into it and do it.
Somebody else wants to talk?
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to answer another telephone call?
I love questions.
We'll try line 1 again. Huh? Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with?
Is this Pizza Hut?
No, it isn't. They're just down the road, but they deliver.
I'm just
we
kidding.
don't.
Well, his mom couldn't call, but she asked me to call for him.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Keith.
Keith the Joker. Okay.
Not really. Anyway.
What do you want on your pizza, Keith?
No, I'm eating lasagna, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But I was going to say that what I was wanting to ask probably had no bearing, but after seeing a little bit more of the show, I see it has a lot to do with it. Total CAD Systems, you're obviously there because you know everything about CAD.
Everything.
Anything.
This guy's very modest. He's
I was
intelligent.
wondering if you could send me one of those little cards that tell you everything, but no. What I wanted to ask was, I'm a trim carpenter right now, but I do have a computer. I've been having a computer for the last 2 years, and I was wondering what the minimum requirements were if I wanted to say, you know, like correspondingly learn CAD. I know there's no correspondence course for that, but I mean, what kind of software, what would be my minimum requirements as far as a monitor? I know I need a processor, a microprocessor chip, and what kind of hardware would be a good one for learning?
Sure. I get that question every single day.
I know.
And I can answer it because I know everything. No, the but this is probably a little overkill here.
Yeah.
There's probably the least expensive, the best way to get into it would be just a 286, not actually a 286. For real CAD work, I wouldn't recommend a 286, but it will work. And we have software that does work on 286s or a 386SX.
Okay, I have a 38620, so that...
Oh, then you're ahead of the game. But you pretty much, if you have a VGA monitor and a graphics card, a mouse, a software package, like I tell people, the least expensive way to get into it is there's inexpensive packages. There's one, the least expensive way is the other day I was at the book stop, and there's a package, a book there called Learn CAD Now.
Oh, yeah?
And it's $39, and it actually comes with a copy of a package called EasyCAD, not IssyCAD, but EasyCAD. And it's, for $39, you get a book that explains how to use it, the software, you can come up, and it's a great way to just get into CAD to learn how it works and see what it does. And the next step above that would be like AutoSketch or generic CAD or something like that, you know, inexpensive software package. VersaCAD has an inexpensive PC program. AutoCAD and Microstation, the big VersaCAD and CADVance, they're a little more expensive. They all range around $3,000, $3,500. But for what you do, but anything you do with the least inexpensive packages, almost every one of them has a translator that goes up to these, so you don't waste any time doing your drawings or learning. And I find that once you learn one package, you can almost go to any package and start, you know, they all have the same type of commands.
I was going to ask that,
like line and circle and pan and zoom and you know, arcs and you know, all the different things. So once you learn one, you don't waste any time, and you're not wasting any of your time on anything else. So it actually is any kind of CAD program. Actually, even any kind of a paint program is a good way to get used to the computer, used to a mouse and whatever. But I'd recommend something like that, Learn CAD Now. It's a pretty good deal, actually. Or AutoSketch or generic CAD or something like that.
Do you need math coprocessor with AutoSketch?
When you actually get it, you actually get two versions. You get the plain vanilla version and one that takes advantage of the 3D7 chip. So I would recommend one, but you don't have to have it. It'll make a big difference because this is some heavy-duty number crunching, CAD calculations. You know, the zooming in, zooming out, and all the, you know, everything that comes up here. You know, this you wouldn't, for $39, you wouldn't be able to do anything like this, any kind of three-dimensional drawings or shading. But it's an inexpensive way to do it.
It's like for that landscaping, I was really intrigued with that, seeing as I'm in the construction business. Anyways, I don't want to talk like that guy before me did.
Old Irv.
Run out all the time to where nobody else can call. But if I'll just go ahead and hang up now and ask him, what's the market like out there? Okay?
The market?
Oh, for a job. I mean, you know.
I thought you meant where they sell apples and things. Like bananas and that kind
We'll see y'all later.
All right, thanks for calling, Keith.
Supermarket. Actually, the CAD market right now, it seems pretty good. It's sort of a strange time in Houston, I guess, because of the economy is sort of in transition right now. But it seems like a lot of architectural firms, engineering firms, and they're all, if they don't have CAD already, they're all going to CAD. And that's why, in most cases, if you have any kind of CAD experience, going to Houston Community College or the CAD Cam Center or U of H or actually just about any school out there, anything you learn will help you, get into a job. Most engineering firms now almost require some sort of CAD background in order to get a job for them. At least a knowledge of it, so at least you can, you can actually talk to the people that are working on it, so you know what to ask and what to tell them what to do, because it's a completely different world now.
Completely different world.
It's a different world.
All right, a whole new world. Let's go to line 2, see who's on line 2. Hopefully they don't want Pizza Hut. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with?
You're talking with Robert. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hi, Robert. We're doing fine.
Well, I've never seen the show before, and I just flipped it on. I was a little bit interested, and I was just curious if y'all had a chance to evaluate the Macintosh Quadra system and how y'all felt about it as far as a CAD system supporter.
Only thing I've seen is what I've read. I've read, you know, my wife thinks I'm just a total nerd, but I am actually a CAD nerd. But I get every magazine known to man, all the Mac User, Mac World, everything else. And there's been articles in every single magazine about how fast it is. It's supposed to be faster than the FX, more expandable, all kinds of advantages. But I haven't actually seen one in real life. I don't know if any. I've seen the portables that they came out with, but I haven't seen any. I haven't seen a Quadra yet in person.
Oh, neither have I. Okay, well, thanks for, I really enjoyed the show so far today, and what's the schedule like as far as, when are y'all on?
Oh, we're on every Thursday at 7 o'clock, live.
Well, fantastic.
So tune in. In fact, next week we've got a show on Unix, and Dean and Carlos will be hosting that show. So you'll have a rest from me for next week.
I'll see you at 7 o'clock next week then. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling. That's Robert. First time to the show. Where's he been all his life?
I don't know.
We've been on for 2 years now. And every Thursday night, 7 o'clock live.
Watching The Simpsons or something.
Yeah, you know, watching one of those other shows on TV, those boring shows. Line 3? Do you want to go to line 3?
Sure.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Okay, you want to drink of water?
No, I'm fine.
You're all right. Okay, we'll go to line 3. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with, please?
This is Chuck.
Jeff.
Oh, Chuck.
Chuck.
Same response from the guy who answered the phone. Anyway, what I wanted to find out is I heard AutoCAD was going to come out with a new release next year. Is it going to be like the new Microstation 4.0? Is it going to be menu-driven, or is it going to be icons like the Windows?
All right, well, I can give you a couple different answers there. There is a new version coming out. Actually, there's a new version. There's a 11 and a half, and then there's a 12. 12 won't be out till next year sometime, probably not till the middle of next year. We haven't really heard any kind of schedule, but I know it won't be out before the end of the year. I know that for a fact. There is a new version coming out right around the first of the year, which is, I'm calling 11 and a half, but it'll really be 11, but it'll be a Windows AutoCAD, which will actually, instead of working the way it works now, where you have to, you know, strip down Windows to work in standard mode or real mode, and you can't use it in enhanced, you'll actually be able to use AutoCAD in enhanced mode and work as if it's a Windows program, and instead of just, you know, shell out the DOS or however different people do it. But that will be available around the first of the year. And what I've heard 2 different things. One, I've heard that when you buy, I'm not sure how the update's going to work, or if there will be actually an update or just you know, the way to work. But there will, at one point when it is out, you'll actually get both versions, and you can pick the difference between whichever one to load. The biggest difference between it, and I actually saw the Windows version of it, it's about 50% slower. So the only people that will actually use the Windows version of AutoCAD will be the people that need to, you know, go back and forth between PageMaker or Word or some other program. Power users will stick with the 3D6-based software. And then Release 12, I've heard all kinds of different things about it, but I don't really know, you know, exactly. Since we sell both of them, you know, I'm always trying to keep up with what's going on, but they don't tell you everything. The main reason is because things leak out, and then people, there's been art, like when 11 came out, it was actually in the magazines a year before it actually came out, and they don't like to, you know, leak out too much information.
I've heard that the sidebar menus on the Microstation of the first release is 4.0, and then they're going to do away with that totally. Is that true, or?
Not that I heard of. There's a new version on the PC, 4.0.3. Have all these different numbers. That will actually work with Windows, work within Windows, you know, so you can use it still in enhanced mode. But I don't know anything about doing away with those menus.
Supposed to be switching from our version 3.3 at work to 4.0 sometime at the beginning of the year. I was just wondering, because I'm real comfortable with the tablet.
Right.
I use sidebar occasionally, but I'm more comfortable with the tablet. Now having to go through all these icons seems
right.
That's what it seems like. It's a more powerful software package. You can do more things. It's more enhanced, but as far as speed goes, it looks like it's going to slow you down quite a bit. That's why I was asking about the AutoCAD, because I know it also.
Yeah. The one good thing about this is you don't have to use these icons, and that you can actually bring up the 3.3 menus on the side. You can actually bring up look like 3.3 of the menus. But the best news for people like you is you can use your same menus. If you like your template on your digitizer, you can use the template. You don't have to use any of these icons if you don't want. And some people that use 3.3 or an older version, they sort of have to get into this a little bit. They're not used to this, so they stick with what they're using. But you can go with a 4.0 and still use your templates.
I was also going to ask you, whenever you go to a mouse and you go away from the 4 buttons, you know, you have your tentative and your all those other buttons. Which one do you eliminate? Do you have 4 buttons still on the mouse, or do you have 3?
Yeah, well, on some mouses, for example, there's different things on the different mice. Like, for example, the 2-button mouse, that's even worse. But you can, if you hit both buttons at the same time, that's the same as button 3. But you can, there are some definite advantages to having the 4-button digitizer.
Some accustomed to some, it's kind of hard to break from tradition.
Right.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chuck, thanks for calling. How you doing?
Great.
People are calling in all the time. We've got a caller on line 1. How about, do you want to take line 1?
Sure.
Okay, we're on the roll. Hello, you're on the air. Who are we talking with?
Hi, my name is Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, were y'all talking something about Unix a few minutes ago? I got in on the tail end. I don't even know what show this is.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I wonder what show this is, too. But this is American Computer Enthusiasts, and we're talking right now about the Sun Workstation, which actually does run a Unix system. But if you're really interested in Unix, you should tune in next Thursday.
Well,
that's the 14th of November at 7 o'clock, Thursday night, live. We've got Dean and Carlos, and they're hosting a whole show on Unix.
That'd be nice, but y'all aren't specifically talking about it then on this show.
No, we don't know anything about Unix on this show.
This is CAD. We all just talking about different types of CAD systems?
Right, yeah.
It's strictly to run on Motorola or Intel processors or both?
Well, usually the software packages run on a variety of machines, so you can run Microstation on the PC machine or Sun Workstation, as we have here tonight.
Is that using the Intel 860?
No, this is actually a Spark chip, which is completely different than Motorola. The older Suns, the Sun 3s, actually worked off a Motorola chip. And then they switched, when they went to the Spark station, it's actually a Spark chip. It's their own proprietary chip, which they have licensed out to other people to use now, but they're always like one revision behind. But that's why, when we were talking earlier, that when you compare them with an Apple, you really don't have the same chip, so the speeds are actually different. So that's why the Motorola, the Intel, and the Spark are actually three different architects for chip. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of.
But anyways, but this is a Unix-based machine.
Registers. That's one last question, because I don't know anything about y'all's processor.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
we don't know the registers.
We don't know much about.
Well, I know cash registers.
Register with you?
No, actually, if you call me tomorrow, and I'll be glad to tell you about the different things. I've got a fact sheet. I mean, a sheet that I could actually send you, and it has all the information about everything, all the different, registers. I mean, I don't even know what.
Yeah, Sammy, you'll see his number coming up.
One last thing I would like to...
Well, we've got to take a break. Sorry, Sammy, to cut you off. But we've got to take a break. We'll have to wrap up the show pretty quickly. So we'll be right back after these messages.
By funding from PC People. PC People's Houston leading source for business software. Let PC People help you make the right decision regarding your next software purchase. Call 789-6300 for competitive pricing and free delivery. And by ChemStations, specialists in chemical process simulations. For more information and optimization of your chemical processes, call 954-4100.
From the McGruff Files, the Philadelphia story. In certain parts of Philadelphia, things were rough. Areas were run down, crime and drugs were out of hand, and honest folks felt like prisoners in their own homes. People decided to work with police to turn things around. Weekly meetings led to cleanup projects and folks working together. Soon, the neighbors had their neighborhood back. That's what happens when people and police work together. Write this down, and I'll show you how you can help take a bite out of crime.
High school football action returns every Sunday night at 7 as Access Houston presents the high school football game of the week on the Educational Channel. Hello, everyone. I'm Alvin Boom Boom Jackson. Join Shannon Kelly, Beth Jackson, Aaron Noser as we bring you the best in high school football action every Sunday night.
Hi, folks. Welcome back. We're wrapping up with Steve Reeves from Total CAD and this edition of American Computer Enthusiast. We've been looking at Microstation version 4 on a Sun Spark station. Steve brought with him some books that he recommends if you're interested in getting into the Sun environment. One of them is called Mastering Sun OS.
Right. That's a real good book. It actually shows you the manuals that come with the Sun. I mean, it's like, it takes up the whole bookshelf. It's like 5 foot long, all these different manuals. And there's a lot of things you have to go through. This is a real good book just to find things out real fast and easy. And they sell that like at Bookstop. And it's a real good book.
Okay.
Here's some, like other ones. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, we got Microstation for AutoCAD users.
That's a real good book. It's made by the same publishers and things that make a lot of the AutoCAD books, like Inside AutoCAD and whatever, and all those different magazines. I mean, different publishers and books. This is a real good one because it actually shows you both sides. If you're used to AutoCAD, like the one guy that called earlier, it actually has both commands on both sides of the page. The next one is just an inside Microstation, just like there's an inside AutoCAD.
So this is more detailed.
Right.
About,
it's like the Bible is what it is.
The Bible.
The Microstation Bible. There's some magazines that are available. Just keep shoving. I brought more stuff.
Yeah, you brought a lot.
There's different Sun books like Sun X. These are all magazines that are monthly. Sun Tech Journal, Sun World, all kind. This is actually. You ever see that commercial that's on the? It's the Lifesaver commercial is actually done in the Sun.
Oh, yeah.
There's a magazine out there called Microstation Manager. There's a MicroCAD News. A lot of these are made by the same publishers that make the Cadence and Catalyst magazines and things. There's also, this is a book with all the third-party software available.
Yeah.
And then there's our
our
newsletter.
Your newsletter.
TotalCAD
News.
Oh, it's good, too. It's great for insomnia.
Yeah, insomnia? That's just
and then they also have a little, Intergraph themselves actually has a little newsletter that comes out called Interview. And that's about everything. We could go on forever here.
Okay. And of course, you've got a place down there which people could call and maybe call you and make an appointment, come see you if they wanted to look around your shop.
Sure, we'll be glad to show demos. You can call our phone number, like it'll come up 721-2233.
723?
What? No, that's our hotline.
Oh, I'm sorry. 721.
You can call our hotline, too.
Well, you said 721-2233,
which is
okay. You've got all kinds of
we have more numbers than those, you know.
And that's the newsletter.
Right. And we've got a large demonstration area with about 10 computers in the demo area, Macs, PCs, Suns, different, all kinds of different software and plotters, digitizers. People can go crazy in there. It's a great little setup. And just call and make an appointment. I'll be glad to show people, demos or whatever.
We've got 1 minute left. So next year, on January the 1st, we've got Microstation version 4 coming out for the Sun. And then you see sometime next year, AutoCAD coming out with a new version on the Sun and, of course, on the PC, too.
Right. AutoCAD will work on here, the release 11, in both different... I actually didn't get to show the Sun View, but that's all right. It's actually the older version, but AutoCAD has the version now, release 11, that will work in the open windows, just like this will. And VersaCAD will also work, just the different software packages that I sell. So that's, in a nutshell.
Oh, good. Well, you've survived the third show, Steve.
Sure.
Thanks very much for being here. Really enjoyed you.
I'll come back anytime.
Okay. And bring something else next time.
All right.
A PC or
a Mac
or Mac or something. Okay, folks, that about winds it up for tonight's show. Next week, remember, Dean and Carlos will be hosting a Unix show. That's November the 14th, 7 o'clock live. You can call in and ask Dean and Carlos all about Unix. Thanks for joining us. Be with us next week. Good night.